Hello everyone, my name is Illyrio and welcome back for another video on the Chronos server. As I mentioned in the last video, today we are going to work on something big. It's because we want to make a world border gold farm. This is a gold farm at the world border which will be the fastest gold farm ever built in survival. Before leaving to the world border, I'm going to place an ender pearl at the stasis chamber. This is our current stasis chamber that can hold a few players, but this is just temporary. We are working on a better one that will be smaller and that will hold a lot more pearls. To use this one you have to select the correct code on the repeater that will send you to the correct location. Then you have to change the second set of repeaters to select the correct slice. Now if I go back to the nether side, the cannon should be charging. I have already shown you how it looks in the pig cannon video, but I will show you again. So you just have to hop on the pig, and once all the players are ready, you can press the node block and you will be sent at the location. So if you check the coordinates on the top left, you will see that we are moving really fast. And after a few seconds, we already arrived at the location. So I'm gonna place a pearl here in case I want to get back. I don't have to use the cannon again. This is the exact same stasis chamber that we have near the pig cannon. And so, now that we are here, the first thing we need to do to start this project is to make a perimeter. I think by now you know how this works, so let's make a quick montage. So we now have two perimeters, a walking farm, but this project is far from being done. Because we don't want to leave these perimeters undecorated. We want to have a decoration in the overworld and also in the nether. So another Chronos member, Yuno, has been working on the decoration for this perimeter for over half a year. And this is probably the biggest and best decoration ever built in survival. Well, at least it will be after it's built. And that won't happen anytime soon, because it will take months to build this decoration, and it will also take a while to collect all the materials for it. Most of the work will be in the overworld side because the perimeter is bigger and the decoration is a lot more detailed, but of course making the nether side will also take a while. So let's quickly check the schematic. First we can see that there are 5.5 million items, so yeah, that's that. And also we can see there are a lot of different items. Some of these materials will be easy to get, like the birch planks, the stone, the concrete, but some of these will be a lot more complicated, like the honeycomb blocks and the red nether bricks too. We spent the last few weeks collecting these materials, but we are not fully done, and I will show you everything we had to do to collect these. Among the materials we need the most, we have honey blocks. That's why we're here at the honey farm, and we already ran it for 3 days, because we need 150,000 blocks, which is 450,000 bottles, and this farm is around 6k an hour. We also need quite a few honeycomb blocks. We need 250,000, which is 1 million honeycomb, and we also need some for the candles. But the farm that we have is really small. Well, at least it's small if we want to get 1 million of these. I'm not sure how fast it is, but we have to run it for a few days, maybe weeks if we want to have everything we need. And of course then we have to craft everything into blocks. Another farm that we need to run for a while is this netherwart farm. We need almost 1 million to craft the red nether bricks, and this produces around 10,000 per hour, so it's about 100 hours to run this farm, and this is a design by Luke, another Chronos member. And I think we already collected everything. All the chests here are full. Then we need a few million gold nuggets for all the gold blocks that we need. It's about 300,000, but for that we have a temporary storage for the gold farm. We also need to run a few tree farms, for example the red netherwart, the shroomlight and the birch, but this will be easy because it's just a few hours of AFK. We also need some wool that we can take from the wool farm, the endstone from the endstone quarry storage, and the concrete from the factory in the end. And we already have all the different stone types that we need from the different digs. So we just finished the spawn one recently, and all the blocks are still stored here, and we also have some in the nether, so we can have basalt and netherrack there too. So this is everything we can get using the farms that we already have. But we also need to make a few new farms. We just made a bamboo farm, so that will be useful for all the different bamboo types. But we also need a farm for cherry leaves, a mangrove woods, frog lights. We need a fast bartering farm, and we also need a way to get coral blocks. The mangrove and bartering farm are being worked on in creative. For the other two we'll probably make a small one for now. And we just started a coral farm in survival. Well, this is not really a coral farm, but a quarry. Let me show you. Okay, I just arrived at the location, and this is where we want to make our quarry. So this will be a quarry to collect all the coral blocks. We can see at this location we have a lot of them. This quarry will be 437 blocks wide, 2300 blocks long. And we will get around 40k of each of the different types of coral blocks. We are in the process of preparing the quarry, and that's why we have a lot of people on. We are using this machine to place sand for the trenches. We will have sand on each side, and then we will run a 3-wide trencher in the middle. So we just have a bot placing the sand here, and it's sand on this side for now, and we have this really simple conveyor. It's currently stopped because we need to prepare the area first. Because the issue is that if we have, for example, current fans here, this will break the sand when it falls. So we need to make sure we remove all of these and also the kelp before we can start this again. And we have the same thing on the other side, we just haven't started it yet. Here we have the main trench, so this is already done, and we are currently also making the tunnel bore. So I think we're using 3 tunnel bores. The first one is here, which is 1700 blocks from the beginning, which is close to the 2300 that we want to have. We have the second one here and the third one. So we are currently working on this. And I think now we can also at the same time make the 3-wide trencher. And I think I will prepare the area to run the sand machine. And of course then we will have to build a quarry, so the vertical jumping one, because when you have a lot of water this is pretty much the best one. So yeah, a lot of things to be done, but since we have a lot of people working on this should not be too long. At least building the machine, then we will have to wait of course for them to run, and that always takes time. This quarry project has been quite fast. On the first day we made the main trench, we did the entire tunnel boring, and we also prepared the side trenches with the sand. On the second day we built the 3-wide trenches, and we built the entire quarry. We started it on the third day, and now it has been running for about a week. If you haven't seen this type of quarry before, you first have a flying machine that will push every block in the front, and when it can push, it will pull the blocks, leaving one block gap here. When it reaches the top, it will release some water, and then at the bottom the TNT jumpers will start, and they will explode all the blocks that have been pulled. And then all the blocks are collected in this water stream, and they are sent to the storage. And we actually made two storage for the quarry. We have one at the beginning and we have another one here. Here you can see the water stream going to the start of the quarry, but it stops exactly here and it switches direction. Now it goes on this side. So if we follow the blocks, we can see they are sent up to this bubble column. And then at the top a lot of things are happening. So first we sort the cobblestone and we delete it. So we have a blacklister and it will separate the cobblestone from the other blocks. And the cobblestone will be sent here to be destroyed, and all the other blocks will fall between the trapdoors. Then the blocks are sent up again, and here we have another blacklister, but this time for cobble deep slate. And we don't burn the deep slate, we send it to a storage, so it goes here in the loop and it's collected with the box loaders. All the other items are sent in a different water stream, and they are sent into mixed box loaders. So here we don't have any filters, we just collect all the items in the same box. And then we end up with these boxes with a lot of different items in it. The only items that we decided to sort are the raw gold and also the dead brain coral blocks. That's because these are the blocks that we need a lot for the decoration. You're maybe asking why we're not sorting all the items here, and that's because it's a lot easier to have mixed box loaders and also a lot more lag friendly because the items are collected a lot sooner. And so we're gonna have a dig sort that will sort all of these mixed shulker boxes, and that makes a lot of sense because we have a lot of this, not only from the quarry but also from all the perimeters that we mined. I am back at the first storage, and this one was entirely full, so we had to empty it, and dealing with such a large amount of items is not easy. I'm gonna show you what we did. We have some hoppers underneath this chest, and they are sending the boxes into the nether. Then on the nether side we send all these boxes into a lot of chests. And this is just temporary before we send them to the big dig sort. But yeah, all of this is temporary, and then we usually send all the items into chest minecarts and we transport them using a flying machine, which is a really easy way to transport basically an infinite amount of items in just a small amount of space. The good bartering farm is not completely done in creative, or at least the storage is not fully done, so we are still using the old one, because we need a lot of quartz before beginning the deco. This one is a very simple design. The gold is dispensed on the four corners of the farm and is sent to the piglins, and then all the items are sent through the nether portals. And in the overworld we have a small storage to collect all the items. And currently we have a few boxes of quartz, and we still need to run this for I think a few days. And while the bartering farm is running, we are also running the gold farm. And I think it's finally time to see it in action. The farm uses corner portal, so all the zombified piglins are spawning on top of the magma blocks, and they can't spawn on top of the obsidian because the light level is too high with the sea lanterns. And since we are at the world border in the overworld, we can connect all these nether portals to the same one in the overworld. That's why we have made this farm the size of the despawn sphere. I highly suggest to watch Brett's video to understand how this farm works in more details. On the overworld side we have the bot placing the TNT to kill the mobs that are arriving on this side just outside of the render distance. We are doing this to reduce the lag caused by the mobs, and even then we are almost at 50 MSPT with this farm and the bartering farm running. But I'm just gonna quickly load it so we can see how it looks. We can see we have all the piglins arriving on the top portal, then the bottom portal, and each time we break the portal to collect the loot. And this farm is around 5 million items per hour, which is a lot. That's why we have a really sophisticated collection system. The items are sent back to the nether where they are collected, and we can see some part of the storage, but it's only a small part of it. And I don't really want to load the rest, otherwise the MSPT will peak at almost 150 MSPT. So I'm here in replay mode, and you can see the MSPT slowly increasing while I'm loading this area, almost 120 already. That's why I don't want to show it directly on SMP. The items are not rendering, but we can still understand what's happening. All the items are sent here and collected by all the loaders. And we have a lot of loaders. And this is technically just a temporary storage, just because we need a lot of gold to use to the bartering farm to then start the deco. But then the idea is to make a much better storage. In this new storage, the items will have a much lower lifetime, and that will reduce the lag by a lot. Actually, I just got back on SMP and I think there is an issue with the storage. I have the entities disabled, and if I turn them on, we can see the items are not supposed to be here, and we have around 31,000 entities. Okay, the issue is fixed now, and it's running around 50 MSPT, which is a lot better. And so that's almost everything we had to do before starting the deco for this project. The last thing we did is to build a temporary storage for this project. It may seem a bit overkill, but I can assure you it will save us a lot of time. So we have a chase hole, we have some space for the more common materials, we have multi-item sorter, there is the usual box display and the input system. We also updated to 1.21 today, and people already started building the deco. It's only the first layer and it seems like there are a lot of blocks, but it's nothing compared to the entire deco. Also, the schematic for it is massive. I don't really want to spoil the end result, but we can check the first few layers. And yeah, that's already a lot of blocks to place. And we also have a scoreboard to see the amount of block placed, so we can see who contributed the most and who spent the most time building this deco, which I think is cool and motivating. Especially considering the scale of this project, I think it's important to find motivation. It has been a few weeks since the last clip, and a lot of people have worked on the deco already. You can see it on the right, we have placed around 10% of the entire blocks. Of course, it doesn't mean we are 10% of the way there, because the floor is pretty much the easiest thing to place, then it's going to be much more complicated to build all the buildings. And I thought it was a good opportunity also to finish the video by showcasing the new stasis chamber, because I started the video with the old one. This one is a design by Nothing, and he made a video about it, you can check it on YouTube. And I think this version that we have here is already an improved version over the original one. And it can have multiple players, I think up to 30. To use it, it's pretty simple, you just have to get some pearls. I'm just gonna get one. And so my chamber is here, you can go in a composter and launch your pearl, and it will get sorted with the other ones. And I already have a few, so I'm just gonna put one. And then if you want to TP into another location, currently we have 3 stations, I think. We have the main storage, the slime farm, and the wall border gold farm. So the station 3. So I need to select mine, and then I can just send the request. And then I should just wait a few seconds, and then I will get teleported. Okay, I'm actually not supposed to get teleported here. But yeah, it's fine. Usually you should end up just below the chamber, I think. You should just get sent out of the water and end up here. And now we are at the wall border gold farm, and we can see the progress. So the floor is mostly done. Now it's time to build the buildings. So there are multiple buildings. This is only a small one, even though it looks massive already. And on the edges, all of this will be a lot of buildings as well. I didn't do much myself, I just worked on it once, building some trees. As you can see, most of the work has been done by Luke, Mercure and Bensonius. But I'm actually planning on working on this in the next few weeks. In case you don't know, I stream on Twitch every now and then. Mostly on my single player world, but also sometimes on Chronos. And I have set a goal, if I reach 12 subscribers, I will make a 12-hour stream working on this deco. And probably along with other Chronos members. And so if you're interested in seeing that, the link will be in the description down below. So I think that will be it for this video. It was quite a long one because we started this project 9 months ago, and we only started decorating it a few weeks ago. But I think it will take us probably a few months hopefully less than a year to finish it. And I will most likely give you some updates on YouTube and also on Discord. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.